G'day viewers, how's it going out there?
Hello viewers, how you doing? G'day, how you going?
Broad AIDS in, been away for a little while, and we have a fun thing to talk about.
We do have a fun thing to talk about. A surprisingly fun thing to talk about. A thing that we weren't expecting.
No.
Wow.
If you don't know the definition of Schadenfreude, it is what anyone on the left is feeling about the Conservatives in Australia right about now. Because shit's been going from bad to worse for Federal Prime Minister Tony Abbott. He's just been unprovoked faults. Like in tennis, I think they call it unforced errors.
Unforced errors, they call it.
Him and his captain's calls have been making him look more and more of a dick.
Oh my God, it's been just spectacular. He's been doing stuff that if a 3-year-old came to you and said, Mum, and you're your dad, Mum, can I do this thing to the cat and maybe put my penis in it? You'd go smack. Yeah. Right? Like, there wouldn't be any modern parenting, like, no, counselling, naughty corner. You just smack, right? That's what he's been doing. It's that bad, right?
And no one, it's bad enough. On the big level, no one's buying their policies, which can be summarised as fuck the poor.
Fuck the poor.
And then Abbott keeps doing these embarrassing things as well, so no one's got any respect for him. Now, this weekend, there was a state election in Queensland.
Which is our version of Florida. Just let you know.
And the state elections are often, rightly or wrongly, said to be a litmus test about what people are thinking about the federal government as well.
Rightly or wrongly.
Now, the previous election in Queensland handed out, the incumbent Labor government was given the biggest caning anyone has ever been given in Australia.
Ever. They got a kicking that would make a gay bashing seem like a fair tap on the wrist. It was a kicking. It was brutal.
How it works, they've got 89 seats in the Queensland Parliament. If you're not familiar with how a Westminster-style Parliament works, everyone has their representatives in there. The people who have the most representatives get to form a government, or if they can form a coalition to have the numbers, which means at least 45 out of 89, then you get to be the government.
I'm going to be the boss because my friends and me said I'm Premier.
Yeah, so going into this 2012 election,
I want to get a cat.
Labor had 51 seats. The Liberal National Party had 34. That's a pretty big majority. That's fairly comfortable. But people were kind of pissed off at Labor
because they'd been complacent for a while, and they'd been kind of going sort of downhill. Previous to this, they had this kind of fascist state going, which everyone was kind of happy about until it started to start to burn to the ground. And then the Labor came in and said, "We'll fix this," and they actually did. And they were in power for years and years and years and years until finally they were going, "Oh, we can do anything we want, and no one will notice."
And the caning they got flipped the table, so the Liberal National Party had 78 out of 89 seats, and Labor only had 7.
Right, that's like, come on.
That's a 9-to-1 sort of margin of dominance.
You rock into Parliament and everyone's spitting on you, and you can't say don't because security is basically on their side. It's embarrassing. You go to your parliamentary offices and there's one small toilet at the back of the room because that's all you deserve, right?
So this government, led by a guy called Campbell Newman, pretty much thought they could do anything they want. With numbers like that,
you could be forgiven for expecting to go, we'll go in for a couple of terms here because we have really put the boot fair into the anoush of the other guys, right? Fairly, it's a goatsy kind of arrangement. They've really hurt them.
Yeah. As recently as 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have dared to suggest that Labor could have won this election. Everyone's really pissed off at Newman specifically and the federal Conservatives generally.
But really, with numbers like that, come on. Come on.
But then this week, polls started to suggest it might change. And last night, when the elections were on, there was a rout. Like the swing back to Labor was not as big as the one they lost, but to get to 45, you're governing in their own right. Labor currently has confirmed 43 seats. LNP has gone from 78 to 39.
What a kicking.
Yeah, and there's 4 still in play. There's some independents about, and there's 4 still in play. If Labor wins 2 out of those 4, which is a better than even chance, they'll govern in their own right. Or they do a deal with like 1 or 2 independents who fucking hate the LNP.
Right, big time.
Then they can govern as a minority government. So a lot of people have suggested Campbell Newman fucked up, but Tony Abbott at the federal level.
and also a big time. Now, one of the other things that you got to remember about Australia is that one-term governments are actually fairly rare.
Incredibly rare.
They usually put them in for 1 or 2 or even 3 terms, but usually 1 or 2. Two is kind of standard if they're really going badly. If they're going really well, you can go 3 or 4. But one-term government on a state or federal level is kind of not known.
Yeah. Until now, here in Victoria, where we live, was a Conservative government, lasted 1 term and then got out.
Gone, baby.
Queensland, Conservative government, lasts 1 term, then out. And Queensland is the most Conservative state in Australia.
But beyond measure. Beyond words. They have, for environmental policy, they have construction ordinance.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Yeah.
And now at the federal level, and I'm not sure it's ever... I know Gough Whitlam only lasted 1 term, but he got sacked, and that's kind of different.
It's different.
1 term at the federal level is almost unheard of, but pretty much all the smart money is on it. And for a while, people on the left, because the previous Labor government managed to shoot themselves in the foot so many times.
And on a regular basis. Like, it was like, oh, I have a gun. I must put this on my mouth.
Yeah. And they had the whole knocking their own leader off twice, which the Libs have said, that's a terrible thing. We'd never do that.
Mustn't do that.
But now, Abbott's been so fucked. For a good 6 months, people have been saying, we might have made a terrible mistake here.
Yes, that guy who was crazy before he got into the Prime Ministership appears to be crazy now that he's in the Prime Ministership. We might have fucked that up.
And it's really picked up steam towards the end of last year. And then Tone spent apparently a lot of his Christmas break calling backbenchers saying, I promise I'll be better.
I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be so good. I'm going to be so good. You'll be happy that I'm wearing, like, bikini briefs.
Yeah. And then, bizarrely, you show how much his political capital is burnt when he did the dumb thing on Australia Day of saying, I'm going to award a knighthood to Prince Philip, the Queen's husband, because that makes total fucking sense. And he did not consult a single person about that. He just went and did it.
Did it.
Captain's call.
Captain's call.
I think we've got to decide captain's call has got to be the worst insult ever now.
Right.
When someone fucks up colossally, you
really
go...
badly.
Captain's call.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're out having dinner, having a steak, slip, stab yourself in the eye.
Captain's call.
Yeah.
Captain's call. You're out having dinner with the family, and the old relatives are there, and you just jump up, about to receive tell a toast, and you whip out your penis and start masturbating furiously.
Captain's call. You know, basically, that's got to be the catch-all for the worst thing you could possibly do in a given circumstance.
Captain's call.
Captain's call. And we want to round out this delicious Schadenfreude with the pressure with this horrible failure in Queensland ramped up so sharply against Tony Abbott. They always have commentators on the TV. The ABC has people talking about, and you'll have one person who represents one party and one who represents the other. And they
always balance it up like that.
So one from each side, and they had a federal Queensland backbencher called Jane Prentice, and when it was all gone to shit, and she's
had all gone to shit.
She's looking pretty unhappy.
Now, just to give you an idea of how deeply it went to shit, the guy who was the boss, the Premier of Queensland, lost his seat, right? He got kicked out of his own seat. He wasn't even safe in his own home. They burnt his shit down rather than put him back in again. It was obviously very bad.
And so Jane Prentice has said, we're going to cop the same federally the way things are going. And one of the hosts sort of goes, is Tony Abbott the right person to lead you out? And normally you go, he's our leader.
Who's the guy? Oh, man.
And she just went, well, that's a conversation, isn't it? And they're like, what? And there was a little bit of back and forth. But then the other host for the TV station has suddenly realised what she said, and he's barely restraining his glee, and he's going, no, did you just say... And she's gone on and said, I've just said he's fucked. And they're going, and you said that he needs to make a really good speech. He's going to give a speech tomorrow at the press club. Would you say that's make or break? And this is a leading thing. He's led them, and this is where you say, not make or break, but we want to see a change. And he goes, is this make or break? She says, yes, it is! I have never seen that. Of all the unprecedented things, I have never seen a federal parliamentarian on TV say, oh yeah, my leader's fucked.
Yeah, the boss is fucked. And if he doesn't put his shit together, he's gone. He's so gone.
So expect lots of smugness, glee and ranting from us in the coming weeks. It's now got to the bizarre stage where the Labor Party are the ones who most want to keep Tony Abbott in power.
Because it's brilliant for them, because they have been doing quite literally fuck all. And they have been saying, in fact, they said of the leader of the Labor Party, of the left wing, they said he's like a blank sheet of paper because he's said and done nothing. And the reason he's said and done nothing, because he doesn't have to. Yeah. He doesn't have to. He just goes, hi, I exist. Look at this guy.
Yeah, I think it's quite gutless, but it's politically expedient. Brilliant. And is probably going to work. Just periodically popping up. Have you noticed most of Australia thinks that guy's a dick?
Just saying.
And have you also noticed I'm not that guy?
I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy. Think about that when you're voting next.
That's his campaign. And I'm not him.
I'm not him. And it will probably work.
It's probably going to work. So if the Libs finally get pushed beyond tolerance and do their campaign, although what they want is for Abbott to volunteer to step down.
And he won't, because he's not that guy.
But it's like he's going to front up a party room discussion at one point and everyone's going to be staring at him. And he's going to say, oh, do you think I should step down? I go, no. Why is there a loaded gun on the table?
Oh, you got your name on it, Tones. There's a label on it saying, put in face.
Yeah.
I'm just, Tones, when you think about all the things that we are and all the things that you haven't done, do you think you should shoot yourself now?
So that is the state of play in Australian politics right now.
Bizarrely enough, the opposition desperately wants the Prime Minister to stay in his job and continue fucking the place very badly.
So expect updates with much smugness from us as the situation develops.
Or deteriorates.
And we'll see you soon. Bye now.